All right, what's up, my friends? Today, we've got generators. We've got 3 generators, small, medium, and large. Goldilocks, I guess. Find exactly what you want, I suppose. Actually, so these generators have been sitting all winter, some of them for a lot longer than that. And it's high time we make sure that they're all running well. This one in the middle we know doesn't run at all. In fact, that's how my brother Jake got it. He got it for free because it wasn't running. So we're gonna try to get it running here today. We haven't done any pre-work. We don't know how well these are running right now, the other 2. And so we're just gonna go through the exact steps we take and troubleshoot any problems we encounter. So Jake's here with me today, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started. We'll start with the little one. We'll go opposite of Goldilocks. All right, so this is a little Firman. It's a 1200 running watt generator, 1500 peak watts. It's got gas in it that has been sitting in it for like 3 or 4 years. So we know the gas is bad, right? Gas, if you don't have any stabilizer in it, you should probably try to cycle through it within 6 months. But stabilized can last like maybe 1 to 3 years. We know that this gas is no good. So we need to start by emptying it, and then we'll put some clean gas in it. We'll see if it'll start, but we'll check ignition, we'll check a few different things and walk you through this whole process. So to begin with, we got to empty the gas, which means disconnecting the fuel line and then just letting it pour out into a container. All right, so first I'm making sure that the valve for the fuel is off. So nothing's gonna wanna run down here. And then I'm gonna take off this clamp that's way down in here so that I can just take this hose, set it into a container, and catch all this gasoline.
Take off the air filter cover.
Yeah, let's do that. So that's just a couple of screws here. Thumb screws, easy to turn. Though I don't know if the back of it will come off with it. Oh, yeah, that gives me a bit more space. Oh, that's way better. So pinching that, there we go. Sweet. So then, that needs to be inside there. So now I can turn this valve to on, and then I'll tip it down, and then we'll open this up. Whoops, so I'm getting some flow there. I'm hoping by opening this. The fuel gauge is reading empty, so there really might not be that much in here.
Finally.
Well, it only took 3 hours. Just kidding. We'll close this valve, and then we'll reconnect that. Now it's empty. We'll just reconnect this. I'm just literally putting that back on right there. Then we'll slide that clamp back down where it goes. Is that on?
Feel the line right above it and feel if it's hard. You can feel the tip of the nipple.
There we go.
Nice.
I'm on all the way. Why don't we go ahead and give it a couple pulls? So we're gonna go ahead and put some clean fuel in. So first, we wanna stabilize this. So I've got gas here. This is ethanol free. So this is straight up gasoline. It's 91 octane. But I have this stable fuel stabilizer, which says right on it, 1 ounce treats up to 2.5 gallons. So for a 5 gallon, I need 2 ounces. So this is kind of cool. Oh, it's already filled to 1 ounce. So I'll just pour that in, and then I'll do it again. Okay, and then I squeeze it till it fills up the 1 ounce. I pour it in again. Brilliant measurement scheme, by the way. Love it when they have like caustic chemicals and they're like, you need half a cup. And it's like, give me something to put half a cup in, because I don't want to use like my wife's measurements for cooking. Anyway, all right. So that's now got fuel stabilizer in it, and we'll put in just a little bit, just enough to get it going, because if we do have to do some work on the carburetor, it'll be nice if this isn't totally full. Although we'll just leave the fuel valve off. That ought to be enough to get it going. I think that's more than was in it when we started. Okay, we'll close it up. Okay, I need to turn this valve on. And then usually on the front, yep, there's an engine switch. We need that on. And then I don't see, there's not like an electric breaker. Oftentimes you'll want, if it does have one, you'll want it set to off. But we're good. And then this here, I guess we can put this back in place. But we'll turn it to choke as well. Or to start, I suppose. We'll switch this over to start. All right, here we go. All right, I think we're gonna check the spark plug next. But with that fuel having sat in there that long, the spark plug could be a bit gummed up, but so could the carburetor. I have a feeling we're gonna have to do both. So spark plug first. For that, we're gonna pull back this cover here. And I need to go get my socket because the spark plug is way down in here. All right, so to be able to even get the socket on that spark plug, we're gonna have to take off this right here. So here we go. This one's just got little 8mm screws, 4 of them. And then the 4th one's kind of hidden by this spark plug wire. So we'll kind of fish that out. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna tip this up on its side a bit. You know what, that didn't actually make it so I can get that socket. Yes, it did. Sweet. Great, so that's an 18mm socket. It fits the spark plug just right. Grab my ratchet. I don't know why. I often like to just kind of finish them out faster this way once I break it. Okay. Hopefully we can get away with just cleaning this thing. Oh, wow. That's pretty black. That's definitely going to prevent it from sparking well. Okay, so we'll see what we can do. Getting the top pretty well. I'm not sure I'm getting that very well cleaned off. Well, I think that's looking quite a bit better.
Much better.
Well, maybe we go for it. All right, we'll grab the WD-40. This is a tip that came from the internet, so I'm sure it'll work. All right, I think while we're at it, we'll just pull the bowl off the carb too before we try to start it again. I think that's gonna be gummed up. Just take that down just a little bit. Then put this cover back on. There we go.
Now to get my brother to fix my generator.
That's the real lesson here.
Last week he packed up my dog food.
The magnet that came in the screwdriver like fell out a long time ago. So the bit won't stay in. The screws won't stay on. Come on.
I have a set like that. That's where you guys went cheap, was on the glue to hold the magnet in.
Right?
The rest of it works great.
I got it. Maybe. I think. Booyah. Get that back in. Onto the clip. And this back on. We're on. Sweet. Okay, next though is this. We're taking this bolt off the bottom to get this bowl off of the bottom of the carburetor. So first I'm going to turn off the fuel valve again, and that's gonna not help it to not spill out all the gas that we just poured in. And then find the right size socket. 10. Oh, and that's just coming off by hand. Okay. At this point, I think I'm going to put on a glove because I will inevitably get gasoline on my hand. Okay. Okay, so that's the bowl. And just above it, there's this float that we may have to take off to get to. But there's just a little pin just inside here. I'm gonna remove the little pin. Should have gone the other way. That's all right. There we go. So that little float pushes that up and closes off the little jet. That little jet is the thing we're going to try to clean out here. And oftentimes what I find works best is I take one of these air out. There we go. And then I can just kind of use one of these and just kind of clean out that little jet. So there's a little tiny hole in a little brass part, and that's the jet. And I have no idea if we're going to be able to make it so you can see that. You know what? I don't know how long I'm going to really get to it. We're going to start by trying to just spray some carb cleaner in there and see if it'll do the job. That might be enough. Okay, so this needs to go back. Dude, the spring just flung off. And it is tiny.
Oh no. That way?
I have no idea. It just like disappeared in front of my face. I wasn't pushing hard on it. But I didn't hear or see. It just like basically disappeared upward. Crap. Okay, pro tip. I don't know, like have stuff all around you to catch springs. So the little spring for the float is tiny and it just popped off and we can't find it anywhere. But the whole carburetor in a kit with a fresh new spark plug is $15. So we're gonna order one. And in another video, we'll show you how to replace the carburetor on a small generator. But for now, we're going to move on to generator number 2. I'm quite confident, though, that between the spark plug and the carburetor, that's going to resolve this not starting. So We'll see for sure in a future video. That's the process. Losing the spring though, not part of the process. All right, moving on.
What? Oh, just it'll flood it without the spring, but
It might have been running off the WD-40 though.
that's true.
Because now, well, maybe if I turn it to run. Okay, we'll turn it off.
Yeah, I'm sure we need that spring for it to run good.
Yep, okay, well,
Spark plug works.
yep, it's buttoned back up, and we'll just replace the carburetor another day. Okay, moving on to number 2. Now this one, if we can get it running at all, that's a win, right? So step 1 is going to be exactly the same though, as we've just got to disconnect this fuel line, make sure it's turned off, which it is, and then empty it out. Okay, we got this up a little bit, so now I can put this hose right in there and just turn on the fuel valve. Open this up. And we're just gonna let that drain for a little bit until it's done. All right, well, lastly, we've got this guy. This is a Firman I got at Costco. It's a tri-fuel, which means you can try different fuels in it. If the gas doesn't work, just try some. No, I'm just kidding. It means that it can do 3 different fuels. Different try. So it's gasoline, it's propane, and it's natural gas. Now this one, I don't anticipate having any engine problems because I never run gasoline in it. I always do propane. It burns cleaner. It stores longer without getting all sludged up or anything like that. I just prefer to do that. I get a little bit less power out of it. So my peak watts, you know, my running watts here with natural gas, with natural gas it's only 5,500. With propane it's 6,750, and with gas it's 7,500. So I get more power with gas. It's more energy dense, but you know, I'm okay with that. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hook it up. The one thing I'm not certain about is if the battery, because this has an electric start, is if the battery is held, because it's been too long since I last ran this. So I'm gonna hook up the propane. We're just gonna try starting it up. If the electric start doesn't work, we'll try charging up the battery. It's been sitting dead too long. The battery might just be toast, but it does have a backup pull start, which has always worked for me. So first things first, I hook it up to the hose with the propane. Open up the propane tank. Now I've got to turn this over here to propane or natural gas. I've got to turn the engine, well, no, that's the starter, sorry. The engine to on. I've got the breaker turned to off, so there will be no electrical load on it. And then here's the moment of truth. Actually, let me just double check. This is the other cool thing, by the way. Firman was smart here. They give you the whole startup procedure like on a sticker on the front. Like it's just right there. So let me just make sure I followed all the steps. It's got the engine oil, it's got the fuel. Oh yeah, it's got a choke too. So we'll turn the choke. Oh, and it's over here that I select propane or natural gas, and I'm correct on the propane. There's the choke. Turn it to start, and then I'm going to push the button. Well, it started to turn over once, so I'll try turning it to start. That's ideal. That's how you want a generator to start up. So because I've let the battery sit so long, I still am gonna put it on a trickle charger and just get the battery to full charge. But really, like, I don't know, that was beautiful. So that's gonna work fantastic. Of course, the other two were that easy. Okay, so I'm gonna get that and that. I'm going to set this to slow charge. It's reading 12.5 volts, so that's great. Now it's charging. Sweet. It's at 72%.
It's a pretty good battery.
Yeah, that's held for a long time. That's awesome. All right, back to this one then.
Still fighting you?
Well, I've got the hose on now. I'm just trying to...
Looked like that clamp
There
was
we
in a
go.
kind of tight spot.
Yeah, it is. I just need to... It's one, though, that you can actually, like, squeeze with your fingers.
Oh, that's good.
So, there we go. I got it.
Sweet.
All right.
So do we want to go to trying after new gas?
I don't know, where they couldn't get it started before. That makes me think that we're at least going to have to do something to the spark plug.
Okay. Yeah, let's just go for it. So, got this for free, and we were already told that it didn't start.
Right. Yeah. All right. So we'll pull off this spark plug cover. There's the plug. This one I can get to. Oof. That's concerning. I'll pull that off and get my eyes on it. It's partially out, right?
Looks like it's in there sideways.
Yeah, it's gotten crooked. Like the threads are not lining up properly.
You find out why it was free?
Maybe so. All right, so this spark plug does not want to come out, and it's coming apart rather than coming out. Get that. Hopefully get this back off. So to get to it better, we're going to take the fuel tank off. That should make it a little bit easier to access. Actually, a lot easier. I got these clips off, but the hoses don't want to come off.
Be able to give us a little bit more room.
No, not
I
really.
could take them off down below on the other ends. They're just going to be harder to put back on. Oh, there's one. Oh, should probably turn that fuel valve off.
Guess we didn't get quite all the gas out.
There we go. Got him.
Gas tank off.
So we were trying to make it come out straight, and it's not supposed to be straight. It's supposed to be at that angle. Okay. So maybe. See, but it's still just. This keeps wanting to grab it at an angle, which means they might have put it in at an angle. Like they might have put it in not straight. Gosh, this socket doesn't want to stay on it straight either.
It kind of looked like it was orbiting. Like it was.
Yeah.
There it is. You're turning. I'm gonna pull it towards me.
Like that.
Try from here.
And that is what do you do about that? Drill it out.
So, well, we got part of the spark plug out.
Gosh.
Well, got it about halfway out.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
At least half of it out.
Yeah.
So now what? Drill it out. Try not to mess up the threads inside the engine block.
Yeah, we could do that. We're just not going to go in very far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in worst case scenario, it's a piece of trash like it was before.
This one should, yeah. Okay, that porcelain is like loose in there. I wonder if we could get it to just fall out by tipping it up. Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, it all fell out. Sweet. So now we can actually see into there.
I wonder if we could just replace that part of the engine, because that's just this part. There's a gasket right here, so it's...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it's this section, right?
Just from the bottom of this bolt to here. So
really?
There's the
Because it
valve
looks
cover.
like...
There's that assembly. Well, I'm not sure, actually.
I think this and this are connected.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's just that casing.
Right.
So it really isn't that much.
And honestly, taking it off would make it a whole lot easier to do all this stuff, too.
Yeah, it would.
Get crazy and start taking everything apart.
That, these. Nothing can go right on your generators, Jake.
Screw it back in a little bit, and then you'll be able to get it out. There we go. Oh, there you go.
There we go. So that'll come off.
Maybe.
And then, yeah, maybe.
It was like yours, the cheap magnets fall out.
Oh, yeah.
Remember to save my knees.
Right?
Whenever I'm suffering through a job, I forget that there's things I can do to make it a little more comfortable.
Right? Okay. There we go. So now that, now that we've got it all torn apart, we could even clean out
I definitely want
all
to get
of
out
this
those
while
metal
we're at
shavings.
it. Well, and even this black, I don't know, maybe that's fine.
Yeah, it tends to build up inside cylinders.
All right. Yeah, we'll try drilling that out, but if we have to, we'll just replace that section.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go ahead right now. I'm waiting on the tap to get here to tap out this block where the spark plug goes. Man, it's like that old spark plug. It was like fused into place. It won't come out. It broke off. I drilled it out, like nothing's working. So I'm gonna finish drilling it out and everything and then tap it out, put new threads in there, and we're gonna try to make that work. Otherwise we'll just have to replace that part. But in the meantime, might as well clean the carb. So this is the bowl, and that's where everything is that we need to get to. And I'm gonna do this indoors because hopefully that will help me not lose any springs this time. Again, this one hasn't run for years. Jake got it for free, so I have no idea what condition it's gonna be in, but probably not great. Before I get any more old gas on my hands, I'm gonna put on these gloves that I brought in here to keep my hands from smelling like gas again. Here we go. So with that one off, we can usually remove this bowl, but there's the second one on here that I probably, there we go, just had to loosen. Actually, I didn't even loosen that one. Just gave me a bit of a grip. Okay, so this thing was full of old gas. Try to absorb it. Okay. There's a float on here just like the other one. Try to make sure that I can do this one without losing that spring. I took out the pin. Now the float can just lift out. See that? Just has a normal little coil spring on it, which makes it just a tiny little coil spring. But that's gonna be so much easier to deal with. Okay, so this actually doesn't look too terrible. So the next thing I'll do is I'll just get some carb cleaner, shoot some carb cleaner on this, and then clean that out the best we can with that. And maybe even get a wire down here through just some of the little jet holes that are in the top of here. Actually, maybe I can get that one out and then I could show you a little bit better. Nice. It won't just drop. Come on. There we go. And that is gummed up. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this to show you. So I should be able to see like straight through that hole, and I can't. Gas isn't gonna flow through there very well. So I'm just gonna get a little wire and just kind of push it through, and that'll make that open right up. Okay, just have a little, tiny little nozzle cleaning thing. It's about as small around as like safety clip, a safety pin, not a safety pin, like a paper clip, small paper clip wire. But see, I can shove that all the way through. Now I can see light through it now. But I'm gonna use it and kind of scrape this up a little bit to try to get, there's a bunch of gunk on here. Then I'll hose this whole thing down with carb cleaner and then do this some more. But yeah, if this is completely clogged, there's no way it's gonna work. That little piece is gonna prevent the whole generator from working. All right, let's look at the rest of this. Okay, similar deal there. There's another little jet there, but it doesn't have the screw. So Okay, sweet. All right, next just some carb cleaner. Hopefully that plus getting the new spark plug in there is going to be enough to get this one running again. Yes. And we're back, finally. We're going to finish putting these back together. So with the Generac, we have already, I took that valve cover, I drilled out that spark plug hole to get the old plug the rest of the way out of there. I used a tap to be able to clean out the threads. It basically rethreaded it. So makes me a little nervous about the spark plug sealing properly. I'm going to use a little bit of Permatex anti-seize lubricant. That's good for up to 1600 degrees to help keep this spark plug from doing the same, and also to hopefully kind of seal it off a little bit. Put the new spark plug in. I've got this thing all put back together. So put in the spark plug. We're going to put the fuel tank back on and connect that up, and we're going to be good to go, hopefully. We're going to see if this thing starts. Now, one thing I want to point out, and this is kind of the purpose of like, really this whole video, is like, I'm not a small engine mechanic. Like, that's not what I do for my day job. But we can figure stuff out. And as prepared, self-reliant people, that's a mentality I want all of us to foster, is I can do stuff. So figure it out. There's YouTube videos, there's blogs, the internet's full of information. There's no reason that a lot of things that you need to fix around the house, you can't do yourself. And in the process, Jake's gonna end up with basically a free $600 generator. Well, free minus the cost of a new spark plug and a tap.
You're charging me?
Well, you're getting it for free. So I'm paying like 15 bucks for Jake to have a free generator. All right, so I just really want to make that point because I'm all about self-reliance, and a big part of that is being able to solve your own problems without having to pay somebody else a fortune to do it for you. Also, like, little secret here, most small engine mechanics are just people who like have fixed a handful of small engines before, and they know that 90% of the time it's the carburetor. All right, here we go. So I'm going to put a little of this. Really, I don't need to cover all the threads. I'm just going to put some kind of in the middle here. This should help keep it from seizing up again. All right. And the threads aren't like perfect because, like I said, we drilled it out. But it goes in nice and smooth because the new threads are good. Okay, at this point, I'm going to get my socket. Is that the right one? And I think I want this in, like, I'm not using a torque wrench, but I just want it pretty good and tight, right? But I don't want to overdo it. I think that's good. All right, so just gonna put the spark plug wire on. Okay, then we're gonna need fuel. So here's the fuel tank. This just sits in here. I'm gonna go ahead and connect these first. All right, so this one that like goes to the carburetor, that one's connecting here to the fuel valve. This one I can just about do with my fingers, but the other one I'll need to go get some pliers. Okay, so yeah, this one goes up here. Sweet. Then 4 bolts and some gas. It's amazing, like, the more this kind of work you do, like, the easier you can just like look at a bolt head and be like, that's a 1/2 inch, I think. I worked for a plumber for a couple of summers when I was younger, and I remember just being amazed at how often he could just get it right. It's like, go give me the 7/16. But after a while, like, I don't know, I'm usually pretty dang close the first time. What do you think, Jake? We ready?
Oh, it's ready.
Put a little gas in.
Absolutely. No fluids leaking out.
Yeah. Turn the fuel valve on. We'll turn this to choke. And then over here, there is an engine start stop. We want that on, or it won't let the engine be on. Usually the breakers should be off as well when you're starting them up until the generator's warmed up. All right, here we go.
Let's check out these instructions.
Sure.
It says something about waiting 30 seconds.
Okay, so we don't throw too much fuel into it. So it says, put oil in, gas. Number 3 says, what's that trying to show me? Something right here, maybe it's the switch. It says turn the fuel valve on, turn the choke on. No, this is to turn on the engine. I have no idea what that is. It's just, looks like
it's to the left of those. Is it unplug any power
oh, gotcha.
out of, looks like this.
Yeah,
because it's to
so
the
there's
left of those two.
no power. Okay. Pull start. Wait 30 seconds.
Shut down. Oh, it's just telling you how to turn it off.
Okay.
So it's saying let it
turn
run
it
for
off.
at least 30 seconds.
Okay, so
Let's give it some more pulls.
yeah.
Got a newly cleaned carburetor.
Right, and well, that means everything in there's dry. Like
Right.
super dry. Here, you wanna?
Yeah.
I'll try to. Only other thing I can think is with the carburetor, I cleaned out those jets that we could get to, but we didn't actually remove the full carburetor. But that's usually enough.
Right?
So I'll just. I wonder if we were to spray a little starter fluid in here.
Yeah. You can at least hear if it's igniting.
Right.
You know, if it's a spark plug.
And if it, sometimes it's like, it takes that and to get kind of the fuel going. Do I have starter fluid in here? All right, this stuff from Stable says literally says it fixes non-running engines. So
That's what we have.
we have a non-running engine. Let's see. 2 options for it. One is to spray it for a couple seconds straight into the carb.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is to spray it for like 15 seconds into the fuel tank. That takes longer, and I'm gonna go with this.
Spark plug works.
Yep, it's sparking at least.
Go and give it another squirt.
And this stuff, I mean, it's not just a starter fluid. Like, it's supposed to like clean it out. Like,
It'd be great if it lubricates it and a couple other things.
right. I can try like what it's the other set of instructions, which is,
Through the gas tank.
yeah, you like pour it in for 15 to 20 seconds basically, and then pull the string a few times to get the fuel circulating a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then pull start.
Interesting. I wonder what it's supposed to do. Like,
I
increase
think it's
the
supposed to kind
octane
of
or
clean the
make it more
fuel system out.
flammable.
We could try this one more time. Doesn't seem to be enough to. All right.
Well, so isn't there a bolt on the bottom of the carburetor here that we can undo to make sure the gas is in that bowl? Isn't that
That's true.
this bolt right here is for?
Yep.
Let's pop that off and make sure that we're getting through the lines
What's that? 10?
into the bowl. Yeah, that's my guess.
And this one doesn't have a stupid spring that pops off easily. It has a spring that stays on really well. Oh yeah, it's getting in there.
But then it stopped.
That's probably just because we're not pushing it through with the full start. Like if it's,
I think just gravity feeds into the carburetor.
I thought that if you have too much in there, then it gets too fuel rich and then it won't start, it floods it.
That happens from turning the engine over. It pulls the air fuel mixture out of the carburetor.
So why did that?
It sounded a little different, didn't
I
it?
think. I don't know. To me, it sounds the same. I don't know. You can take that off again and see if it's.
See if more comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no more in there now.
So that on-off valve felt really stuck the first time I moved it, and I was wondering if it might have the on-off to the gas tank.
Oh, this one?
I'm wondering if that might be stuck in the off position.
Oh, if the valve itself might be?
Mm-hmm. So maybe pull the line off of the bottom of it, and let's turn that valve and see if any fuel comes out.
Okay. Okay, it started running once I tipped it down. That might be part of our problem too.
We could just not have enough fuel in there. We put just a little bit in just in case we don't drain it again.
And we're tipping it back that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's put some more fuel in there. Yeah. Yep. Now it's dripping out the bowl again. So yeah, so the fuel is running to the carb. But
that's enough.
We may not have had enough. Yeah, we just may not have had enough fuel getting to it. We are on.
Lower this one.
Yeah,
block.
Let's do that. We can. So what if we try using this to help us start it one time?
You got it?
Yep. Maybe. Started right up the first time we did it.
Those things can evaporate super quick.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think? Put some in the gas, like it says?
Sure.
3, 4, 11. All right, so then close it up, pull it a couple times, and let it sit for 5 minutes.
I have a hard time imagining how that's going to change the gas.
Yeah, I know. But it says it fixes non-running engines.
Got to trust the label. What did it say, 5 times?
Something like that.
Now it sits.
At this point, if it should be on run, because we kind of almost started it once. I don't know. Okay, now we'll let it sit.
Okay.
Well, we work on that one while we wait?
Back to the Firman.
Okay.
So, we have a new carburetor.
Yep.
New fuel filters, new spark plug. We'll see what all that we end up changing, but.
So we need to get to the carburetor, we're gonna take this off.
Yep. Is it going?
Yeah, it's just coming off now.
Nice.
Is that right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, we'll just take that here. Okay, then. Yeah, it just coming right out. Holy cow, this might be the easiest. Yeah. You can slide that up.
Fuel line detached.
And the fuel line's off. Where the valve is. All right. There's also this spring. Might be easier. Let's get this off.
We've got our replacement carburetor here. Brand spanking new. just gonna throw some gaskets on those surfaces. Voila.
It really wants me to take that hose off first. Just thought it might be easier.
It does come with a replacement hose if you break it.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll come off the fuel line easier. It just has a lot of real estate on the carburetor side.
I can see that line getting gummed up too as it sits for a long time.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
That's your
There's
carburetor.
the old one. Here's our new one. Go ahead and put that new fuel line on.
Yep.
Yeah,
you
a
can see.
fresh tube. Might want to go on real easy.
These carburetors aren't like super specific either to like, there's a ton of these that use the same carburetor.
Absolutely. Yeah, manufacturers save money by just buying all their carburetors from the same manufacturer.
Yep.
Instead of making their own. Why reinvent the wheel when
Yeah.
somebody
It's
else
nice for us because we don't have to rely on Firman to provide us with the
Oh, exactly.
carb. We can just, the company that makes it for Firman is happy to make replacements for us, and they're cheap.
Okay. So it went on this way. We have new gaskets, so go ahead and pop.
Okay.
Did it have two on that?
No, it has one on each side.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so one in here.
Mhm. And then carburetor.
Yep. All right. And then we need the other gasket.
Fuel line might be a little long.
It's a
Can
little
trim that
long for
down
this
later.
one. Okay. Oh, we also have, oops, before I go, 2 nuts with this. Make sure that, probably should have just attached it before I, there. Fine, do it the easy way. There we go. And then I can get the spring in. When you have giant hands, use pliers. Make it easy. All right. Gasket. All right. Oh yeah. This just little tube just sticks in here, right there. Just need it to go all the way in. Okay. And then one of these. And one of these. Yeah, so that'll be easier with this socket.
Easy might not be the right word.
Yeah, I just need this washer to go in. There it goes. All right. Here, I think.
Something like that.
That one in here. Oh, and it also came with 2 fuel filters. I don't know that. Let's see that we even have a fuel filter on this. There we go. Start. Okay. I think we're ready. Hope that's enough for now. Okay. And like it says, turn on the fuel line. Turn on there's an engine switch just like on the other one. Right there. Turn that on. Turn the choke to start, which I did. Then pull it.
Pull.
Then you gotta
Take
set
it
to run.
Off and start to run.
Yeah.
Hey, got a running generator?
Mostly
It's
running.
getting there.
Bit of smoke here, so it's taking it. It might just need to warm up a little more.
I think we have to tune the carburetor.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
carburetors will run different at different elevations.
Yep. 2 down.
2 down. Got the
It's
big
just
one and
a
the small
screw
one.
right there. Beautiful.
It's running.
Okay, so then we can just turn off the engine and close the fuel valve, and you've got that generator running.
Jake has one working generator.
Now let's see if we can get the free one working though.
The big one too.
Yeah,
Well, my big one.
your big one.
It's pretty big for a little guy.
Okay, fuel valve's still on. This is still set to,
In case we ever want to change fuel
that's
filter.
on run. And move it back to choke. Engine switch is on.
Cross our fingers. So we have yet to do the carburetor on this, right?
Right, I mean, I cleaned out that bowl, that jet.
Oh, okay.
That's in the bowl, and it was completely gummed up. But if there's more in the carb, and we could just replace the carb like we just did.
Right.
So that's probably next step is replace the carb,
Okay.
and then we'll see what we can do from there. Because
Well, with how quick it was to pull that one off. And then once we pull it off, what else is there to clean? So you cleaned
that's
out.
a good point.
So is it these
Take
two
these
little
out.
holes?
So it's these two. Oh, yeah, so right. So there's these other holes in here
Mm-hmm.
that we didn't get to because we didn't take the carb all the way off.
Right.
All we did was we took the bowl off, and there's a big jet inside there,
Yeah.
and I cleaned out those holes.
Okay.
But there's more inside here we could clean, so we might as well.
Let's
I've
give
got
it a try.
carb cleaner.
Yeah.
So let's. That looks like a 10 as well, maybe.
Yep.
And
Think it's a different carburetor. Be
What's
funny
that?
If it's the same one.
It would be funny if it's the same one. Totally different brands, different sizes.
That one I bought for the Firman,
Uh-huh.
it had so many different models that it said that
Oh,
it fit
sure.
on the
Tons.
product specs.
Yeah, I've got plenty of carb cleaner, so we could try just getting it clean. This was the one I thought was gonna be quick. I thought the other one would take longer.
So it needs to slide out.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, it
That's how
comes
does
right out when you do that. Okay, so we can see in there now a couple of these openings, and we could just try cleaning the rest of that out. This bowl, we can take back off again, I guess. But that part, oops, I've already cleaned once. But it might be easier to clean with it all apart. It's full of fuel. Yep.
Float's moving well.
Yeah, float's fine. And then this little pin comes out. And this one, the spring is smartly like there.
What a
so
great
it's not
design.
gonna pop off. All right. We probably don't need to take all the rest of this apart. But I took out this one. It unscrews and comes out. And I cleaned out all of the holes in it. But these maybe would be doing it. So we'll try. Yeah, that's going through. That's good. If we can get through, then that means air and fuel probably can too. It's soaking my cleaner. This stuff, if you like shove it there and blow, it'll like literally spray back in your face.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was in the splash zone.
Sorry. When I spray on each of these, it's coming out the other side. That's a good sign. Where's this one go? There we go. Oh, that one might have been the missing piece.
It's not blowing out?
It is now.
Oh, nice.
These little teeny tiny jet holes right in there. Yeah, it's getting better. Nice. Hopefully that does it.
That's probably it. All those teeny tiny holes have a job.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
One doesn't work.
If you can't get something to flow. All right.
Business.
Sweet. Okay. Now I'm just gonna put it back. Oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together real quick. Oh, the spring's not as bad. A little bit easier to use those pliers.
There they are.
Just a little hole to that in. It's easier. Got it. But those things, like just being patient with yourself is the key.
The more you get frustrated, the harder it gets.
Tried to teach my kids that.
Try to teach myself that.
Right? Every day. Oh, and then I need that.
Yep.
One. Go.
Just look at those jet holes.
Okay. There.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little cover. Right there. Good.
Just have to pull it right back off anyways for the next.
Oh, gosh.
I just want to make sure it didn't go behind the carburetor. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
find a part.
Yeah, where does this go?
Oh, that was the bottom of the carburetor bowl?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, it's the one that attaches to the bottom of this, though. Remember we had that one on the back, right there.
Oh yeah, that bracket.
That's the 8mm. Pro tip, when you're taking something apart, record yourself, because then you can always find it where things go at the end if you need to.
Unless, of course, it's a carburetor spring.
Yes,
then
then
it's
you will
gone
never
forever.
find it again.
Nope. No matter how long you look. What do you think the odds are that that was the problem?
Pretty good, but I don't know. I'm not feeling as optimistic anymore as I once was.
Come on.
Engine on, fuel valve on, choke on. Well, I don't know.
Oh! Run, baby, run! Move it over.
Okay, well,
Well,
we may need to
moving in the right
adjust it a
direction.
little bit, but
Try
I
to do that
started to
again?
move it over and it stopped working, but let's try it again. I think that's the adjustment on this one.
Ooh.
A lot of times I feel like if we can get it running, like it'll
Keep going.
keep going, it'll work stuff through, but
Seemed like after it sat for a minute,
yeah,
it gave a couple chugs.
yep,
So maybe fuel's finding its way through the carburetor.
right. And good fuel with that stuff we put in it too.
Mhm.
It might be kind of working stuff through there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's what seems to happen when you start a small engine. It's running like crap. You just gotta let it run for a little
keep
bit.
it running.
Kick out all that gunk
Yep.
until it starts flowing well. So that might be what we're
Yep.
experiencing. Maybe.
Yeah,
Like that?
let's just give it a minute and then try again. That's the part I'm really bad at, waiting.
Let's Google that new carb. $15 on Amazon
Gosh.
with a spark plug. Sounds so close.
It does.
Give you some support.
Just won't go a second time.
So close.
All right, well, 2 out of 3 ain't that bad. I mean, 66% will get you a degree. So we've got 2 running generators. This one is closer than it's been as long as Jake's owned it, and even the guy that gave it to him never got it running. So we're getting close. If you have any ideas of what you think we should try next, because you know more than we do, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. We're not beaten. We're gonna get this running. I think our next step is we're just gonna replace that carburetor. It's like 15 bucks again. So no sense fighting this one anymore. But if you're like, guys, that's not what it is, let us know in the comments and we'll try out whatever it is that you have in store for us as well. And we're gonna get this running. And when we do, we're gonna let you know. Until then, just remember, You can do a lot more than you think you can. Just because we failed doesn't mean you will. And we mostly succeeded, so we're gonna go with that for today. Thanks for joining us in this video. We're all about trying to help you be more self-reliant, so I hope you'll join us some more in the other videos we have. We'll see you there. Wonderful! Well, what do you know? I guess that carb just wasn't salvageable.